Hey everyone, I'm Cassandra Pickett, licensed marriage and family therapist and certified clinic coach. Today we're going to talk about boundary crossing versus boundary violators. How do you spot the difference and why it matters? And what do you do? Humans adore homeostasis. So when somebody sets a boundary, they're actually changing the rules of engagement. They're messing with the homeostasis of our relationship. It doesn't mean they shouldn't do that. It just means it'll take effort to cooperate with the change. That comes really naturally to some people, and other people that'll be a little messy or clunky for. So when you think of a boundary crossing, I want you to think of someone who's well-intentioned and just needs a little grace while they go through the learning curve. Think like a colleague that slacks you during lunch, or an in-law that wants you to have the same traditions that they did for their family growing up. Or you've asked for 10 minutes after work from your partner because you work from home before you transition back into family life, and they keep sending your toddler in right when you're done working. Boundary crossings need two things. One, generous interpretation, positive assumption. Assume the best. Assume that this person is struggling with the learning curve or has had a misunderstanding, not that they are trying to irritate or hurt you. Second, up the clarity, reduce your frustration. Let's take the example of after work, you're like, I need 10 minutes. I work from home. I need 10 minutes before I assimilate back into family life and start dealing with my 2-year-old, right? Every day, a minute after you're done working, your partner opens the door and sends your 2-year-old in. You're like, I'm super confused. I told you I don't want this. What's going on? Generous interpretation. Assume they don't understand that there was a missing piece and that there needs to be a recommunication to re-clarify, gain more understanding. You're going to up the clarity, reduce your frustration, which if you have that generous interpretation first will help reduce that frustration. Up the clarity. When I said I need 10 minutes after work, what could have been more clear was to say, in those 10 minutes, I actually turn the light out, I put earplugs in, and I make myself void of all stimulation. I just exist in silence and darkness for 10 minutes. That is clear. Your partner, maybe they unwind by being playful. So they were like, oh, having our 2-year-old go in and have a tickle fight, like that is unwinding, right? That's just fun. That's not cooking or cleaning or doing routines. So up the clarity to help reduce that frustration. And at that point, your partner's going to have a lot more understanding of how they can respect your boundary. The difference between this and a boundary violator is a boundary violator knows they're crossing that line. They just don't care. This could look like a boss calling you at 9 p.m. when you have explicitly said you don't do calls after work. This could be a family member making jokes about a topic you have said with no question is off limits. Some ways to spot this is the person downplaying it. You're so sensitive. Like, why do you always make such a big deal of this? It's not that big a deal. Guilt tripping. I'm such a bad friend. I always mess everything up. And you end up comforting them about them crossing your boundary. The blaming and minimization. So you have a problem, you're really sensitive, other people don't set boundaries like that. These are all signs that somebody's violating a boundary and they don't have an intention to respect or cooperate with the boundary. So the reason this is really important is because I don't want you to get the lines crossed. If you view a boundary crosser as a boundary violator, you will be burning bridges you don't want to burn. You will be damaging meaningful, fulfilling relationships with people who want to be cooperative. They just need grace through the learning curve. We don't want to do that. Alternatively, we don't want to take a boundary violator and treat them like a boundary crosser and just keep giving them more clarification and chances when really they have no intention of cooperating or respecting the boundary. When it's truly a boundary crossing, we give grace, we re-clarify, and we continue supporting people through that learning curve so they can cooperate with our boundary and we can move forward in a meaningful way. Boundary violators, we're going to have to go ahead and Follow through on consequences, whatever that looks like. Sometimes that's as big as not being in relationship with them. Other times it's like, I don't hang out with this person at this venue. We're not this type of friend. I only see them here or there, or whatever consequence needs to be in place because they don't intend to cooperate or respect your boundary. Follow me on socials for more tips and tricks to strategize your personal life. See you in the next one.